Flynn. Obviously tough end to last season with the injury and stuff. How are you feeling right now, and how was that process like to go through last year?
Yeah, definitely not obviously how I wanted to end the season, but really excited to be back in Utah, and the rehab has been progressing a lot. I'm really hoping to be back around when season starts, trying to take it day by day, but just super excited to get back out there. I think, I've been working with the medical staff every day, just doing everything I can to get back on the field, but also in a very safe manner. So, and I think, there's been a lot of changes since the last time I played on the team. And I've just been able to witness that kind of like from almost like eagle eye view of like watching how things have changed and the coaching dynamics, the off the field dynamics. So it's been like really exciting for me to see all this change happening, and especially because it's like I can't wait to get back and really like be part of that new system.
That was going to be my next question, so you like perfectly went into it. The improvement that we saw at the end of last season with Jimmy, with some of the changes that happened that you mentioned, what were those changes? Like more specifically, what do you think went into the improvement, and how do you guys kind of jumpstart into the season with that in mind?
Yeah, definitely. I think you could tell the last few games of the season we were really picking it up, just looking a lot more dangerous, sharper, more cohesive. I think a lot of that comes down to attention to detail, and especially this year, like starting day one, everything we do on the pitch, off the pitch, I think there's a lot of intention behind it, and that has really helped us. Like, first off, getting on the same page, and then just really focusing on each thing we do. How is this going to help us in the season? And not just like doing stuff to do it, really doing it with that goal in mind. So I think that has just been vital, and like, as we've seen the end of the season, things were really picking up, and I think we're all looking forward to keeping that momentum going in this new season. So it's just a great opportunity.
Awesome. Thanks.
Well, Flo, good to see you again.
You too.
When was the last time we saw you on the pitch?
I believe it was July 8th. I think we were playing in Seattle, and it was only a few minutes, and I was not feeling great and had to come off. So I am very excited to get back out there. I think, obviously like safety comes first always, so making sure I don't rush it. But yeah, I'm very excited to be back on the field.
We're excited to have you back. I'm curious, how much are you willing to educate us on the bilateral compartment syndrome? Like, what is that? What have you gone through to try and reverse that or heal that? And what does it mean for your future? Because for fans who love seeing you on the pitch and dominating on the back line, what does it mean?
Yeah, so it is, I knew I had something like going on in my calves. We weren't sure for a while what it was, and I kind of thought, oh, like I can probably push through, but it got to the point where it was like, okay, something, like we're gonna have to take some medical action. Bilateral compartment syndrome is, so in your calf you have 4 different compartments, and they're all surrounded by a fascia, each one, so it's like a little blanket. So sometimes when you work out, your muscles hypertrophy, so they expand, and your fascia expands with it, but sometimes the fascia stops expanding, so the muscles will expand and the fascia stays tight, so it leads to a pressure buildup, which can make it difficult to run. And so I knew, like, I did a lot of research when I figured out the diagnosis, and I ended up going to Mass General in Boston, and worked with surgeons there and did the first part of my rehab there because I felt very confident and they had a lot of experience. And also I'm a big Patriots fan, so that was kind of cool to be in Boston. But yeah, so I just, like, I felt a lot of confidence in them, and I was like, I'll get through the first part and then transition back after off season. And so that has gone really well, like conversations with the trainers here and back there just to try to make it as seamless as possible. And yeah, so far feeling good, starting to get back into it, so very exciting, but yeah.
Well, it is very exciting to have you coming back because of the 12 matches that we saw you in, you led for that period in tackles and interceptions, and I mean statistically you were the dominant force back there, and then of course your I don't know if we call it save of the week, your save of the week, that was phenomenal. So we need you back, and your dominant air dueling and everything about it, but I am curious, last question, as you do come back, what is the main goal for you? Because we have a lot of versatility now on the back line. Do you think positionally that's where you're going to be again when you do get inserted back in? Is there room for a different spot on that line? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I think totally dependent on what formation we go in, but I am sort of coming into this as like, one, an opportunity to learn from these coaches because I didn't really get a chance to play for very long under them. So I think like getting more comfortable with their system of play, and I mean, I'm open obviously wherever the team needs me. I think like first part is just getting comfortable in the rhythm of playing again, and then seeing like how can I help the team, what formation are we playing, those sorts of things. But yeah, so I think that'll come like as I get back into training 100%. But yeah, I'm just very excited for that to get going.
We're looking forward to it. Thanks.
Thank you.
So I've been asking this to basically everyone, but how have the new players been integrating into the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a great 2 weeks already. It's felt like a lot longer because we've been training for long hours, but I think everyone's been integrating really well. Obviously we're eating like a lot of meals together every day, and I think that's like a great time when you can just like talk to people that you don't really know yet, because we do have a good amount of players that came in. But yeah, so far I think like the energy's been high, the vibes have been good. So and everyone who came in is like obviously very talented, but also like is like a good person. So I think that makes such a big difference for the locker room of like, if you're surrounded by genuine people, then you know at training you can go hard, and then after training like you're all good. So yeah, it's been good.
Good. So the coaching staff seems to be bigger than last year. How has the coaching staff been?
Yeah, it's great. I think they've definitely brought in a lot of new experienced people, and just also new roles that we didn't have last year, which helps so much, especially like I'm going to be into the phase of returning to play, and now we have a coach that's dedicated to helping players return to play. So it's like I'm gonna be getting one-on-one training and like exactly what I need to work on and improve. So I think from my perspective, I'm like, that is so great coming back in. Just knowing like the attention to detail that I'll have and like the support I'll have as an individual is awesome. And I also think it gives, you know, the rest of the coaching staff some support of like each member can focus on their specialty and not trying to do like multiple jobs. They can really hone in on what they're meant to do, what they're really skilled at. So I think, yeah, so far I've noticed like a lot of improvement. It's like very different. I think as preseason goes on, it's sort of starting to become like a well-oiled machine every day. We know what we're doing, our roles. So yeah, I think it's been really helpful.
Awesome, thank you.
Great. Okay. All right, class. Or Daniel, do you have anything? Class, all yours. Go ahead.
I was wondering, how has your injury affected or changed your perspective on playing, or how you play, and you know, how are you gonna I'm looking for a word, how are those changes gonna show in this new season?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, and this is my first time that I had ever suffered a like serious injury, so it's definitely something that I, you know, wasn't aware of the mental toll it can take. And obviously like you want to be out there, and so you feel like, oh, I can't contribute to the team right now. So that has definitely been something I'm working on, of like pushing through that and kind of focusing on like, what can I do for the team, what can I do off the field that'll help me when I'm back on the field. And so I think I'm hoping to take some of that resilience into next season, and knowing like, okay, there were some hard weeks, but I got through them, and I know like this season will also present hard weeks, there'll be challenges, but I know that, you know, it's nothing I can't handle or we as an organization can't handle. So I think like that's what I'm hoping to take with me, of like, yeah, you can, like the whole we can do hard things. I think that has like been on my mind a lot.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Wonderful. Thanks a lot, Flynn.